Thank you, wonderful people, for clicking this video. Much love and respect to yourself. Straight out of Africa with lots of love, peace, forgiveness, and good vibes. And good crazy compilation of all types of videos. Watch till the end, hit the like button, and leave your comments, man. You are loved. Let's dive in.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
He's too busy looking at the dog.
Yes. I'm talking to you. Burdock. He's a beauty.
Scariest moments caught on camera, huh? What's that? This man is being stalked and he catches the creature. Oh, which creature was this that was stalking him? Huh? This is a very weird behavior by an bonobo creature. Oh man, this is very creepy. Imagine having a stalker who is abnormal or a paranormal stalker. That's wow, unbelievable. Oh my god. What? Oh man, this is now very scary. This guy says that he thinks it was a person only to see it was not a person. What is this? Oh my god. These are now ghosts or paranormal. Oh. This is scary.
Of course, male friendships seem to last forever because they're not actually bonding with each other. All they know is watch football game and go to club.
And that's why we have the best friendships. That's why we have the best friendships. How us men make friends is an unexplained natural phenomena that you girls need to stop trying to make sense of. Do you know how me and one of my closest guys became friends? Back in secondary school, he slide tackled me in football. We had a fight, and in detention, we became friends. If that's not love, I don't know what is. As in, this guy would die for me and vice versa, and our first interaction was us trying to kill each other. Stop trying to compare female friendships with male friendships. It'll be the same thing. I promise you, it's like yin and yang. What you girls think you know about male friendships, I promise you, it doesn't even scratch the surface. Men just bond over sports and going to the club. Baby girl, we bond over anything and everything. I have one guy, we became friends because we both watch anime. Another guy, we became friends because he almost hit me with his car. Another guy, this guy almost died bench pressing and I came to spot him. I would hate to be in a female friendship because male friendships are so stressless. While I know day, it's beautiful. In fact, make I use scientific terminology. You see male friendships, we day like covalent bond, whilst female friendships, they like hydrogen bond. Any small thing like this, you go jackpot. Tell me why birthday girl has told you not to wear pink and you decided to wear the pinkest of pink. Now wahala day, you're no longer friends. You think that would be the case with guys? We'll laugh about it and go and smoke it, bro. Male friendships are so peaceful. I can't even put it into words. And don't go and think because you have a couple guy friends, you know what it means to be in a male friendship. You don't know anything. Just because you and your boy best friend violate each other doesn't mean you're one of the guys. If that man was to open his mouth and violate you the same way him and his boys violate each other, you would cry. Every time you and your so-called boy best friend violate each other, that man is holding back. Bear that in mind. So because stop talking on matters that doesn't concern you because male friendships are unexplainable and we like it that way. For two close guy friends to fall out, it must be because of something deep. You think Chunks and Philly can ever fall out because of something petty? Like I said, male friendships are stressless and beautiful. Stop trying to make sense of it. If you want to focus on something, go and focus on your friend that wore the same dress as you on your birthday.
Yo, there is some truths in that story.
Okay. Make sure you guys can't see each other, okay? Okay. Skylar, one hand. Okay, Brooklyn, go.
Five.
Say it louder.
5.
Yes. Okay, go again. Okay, go ahead, Brooklyn.
One.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Skylar. I can't see. 2. Okay. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
3.
Louder.
3.
Yes. Okay, go again. Okay, go ahead, Brooklyn.
4.
Holy shit. Okay, go again. Okay, behind the door, behind the door. Behind the door, Brooklyn, behind the door. Make sure you can't see each other. Okay. Go ahead, Skylar. Okay. Go ahead, Brooklyn. A little closer to you, Skylar, so you can see.
3.
Yes. Okay. Go again, Skylar. Okay, go ahead, Brooklyn.
1.
Holy. Okay, last one, last one.
Okay.
Okay. Brooklyn, close your eyes. Like, cover your eyes or something. Take off your glasses. Cover your eyes. Okay. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
5.
One more. Cover your eyes, Brooklyn. Okay. Go ahead, Skylar. Okay, go ahead, Brooklyn.
4.
No. Okay. That's okay.
Was it 1?
It was a 1, yeah. Okay.
If they hadn't practiced that.
What I'm about to say will be received differently by everybody, depending on where you are in your journey of life. But if you are seeing this video right now, you can be assured that your energy is ready to receive it, and you're about to learn why. Before you were born, your soul sat down with your overarching archangels and a team of spirit guides that belongs solely to you, and design the life that you're living in right now. Before you start scratching your head and screaming at me, let me continue. Very much are a beacon of light in this world, this 3D reality, with intention. You may have grown up in church. You may have grown up with religion. It's all very much real and also very much wrong, but none of that really matters. You'll see. Your soul designed a life filled with experiences meant to evoke emotion out of you. These are things that our 3D brain in our human body, our shell, cannot comprehend in this reality that we live in. Because if we knew the true purpose for our mission here on planet Earth, it wouldn't work. Your soul has been through this journey countless times. So many times that you could articulate this very much to the rest of us, except for that pesky veil that we have floating over our consciousness. We're not supposed to know this. Why are you hearing this coming out of my mouth right now? Because haven't you figured out yet that you're not like all of the rest? I don't even have to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you what I mean by that. It's a feeling that you've had as long as you can remember. It's why you haven't fit in anywhere you've been. Life for people like us looks very different than most. We have not had an easy life. In fact, we've had an uphill climb in just about every situation we've been a part of. They were building blocks, see? Because you've been on a mission since the day you were born to absorb and to learn everything about life that you could, very intentionally. And recently, you've experienced a shift in your consciousness, your reality to the world all around you. It's making you feel all out of sorts in this world that you live in now. And really, what seems to be magical things are happening. Life is throwing you synchronicities every single day now in an effort for you to notice. Have you? I know you have. That's why we're talking right now. Comes a point in all of our journeys where we can no longer avoid the call of our higher self, our soul, because they're the ones that are behind our mission here. Everything that you've been through in your life that you thought you screwed up, that you thought you were a sham at, all planned, my love. I'm telling you this because I'm a breadcrumb thrown at you by your higher self, aka your soul, the universe, for this moment in time right now to start to make sense. As you begin to digest this newfound awareness to life, it will start to make more sense, more and more every day. My name is Jen. I am also a spiritually awakened, intuitive, empathic light worker, and I created this community to find people like me and like you. Join this growing community of healing souls in the hundreds of thousands. We have so much that we can learn and explore together on this great mystery of life. Stay close.
Okay. Oh my
You
god.
have to shoot somebody in your own house and just learned a new trick. After you have to shoot them and defend yourself, Take one bullet and put it in the ceiling, because the cops have no idea if you shot him first or then the warning shot. But what you're going to tell him is, I gave a warning shot, the guy didn't flee, I had to stand my ground and kill him in my house.
Oh my god, please don't kill people, send Rap.
Ya no puede estar aquí. Mira, no manches. No manches, güey, mira. A la madre. ¿Es un hombre? No, quién sabe, güey, que sea. Ve, 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 ve. Mira, 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 mira. Dios mío. Ahí está, güey. Aguanta. Ahí está. Fíjate, fíjate, fíjate. Acércate, compa. Abre la puerta. Espérame. ¡Hala! Mira, 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 mira. ¿Viste, viste? Ay. No manches, güey. ¿Vamos a entrar? Aguanta. Sí, vamos a entrar. Espérame, no, compa. Puede ser algo malo. No, hay que irnos mejor, güey. Hay que irnos, güey. No hay que irnos, güey. No, güero, vámonos, güey, mejor. ¿No se la puede abrir? Aguanta, sí, güey. ¿O no tiene manija? No podemos abrir, güey. Está trancado, compa. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas también como nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en la tentación y líbranos de todo el mal. Amén.
Está tocando. Sí, abre la boca. ¡Ey! A ver, compa. Hecho candado, güey. Déjanos entrar. Demonio, déjanos entrar. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Oh my god, that is very creepy.
I wonder, do you think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that, Janet?
Pardon? Stuart Certain.
Stuart Certain, and he's one of the voices.
Yeah.
Why do you think he comes and speaks through you?
To annoy us.
Does he ever say anything nice?
Well, don't know really.
Shall we try and speak to him? No. We'll see if he'll speak to us.
Yeah.
Is anybody there?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Goose Chasers here.
Oh my god!
That I'm about to share. And they no longer have to be buried deep in the archives. And for the beginning of these photos, I want to focus on the main theme. The theme being that the building is completed, and they are simply putting scaffolding around the buildings. In my opinion, they are painting these buildings white so that they look brand new, when in reality, they are old and from the past civilization. Here we are told is the government building in the Philippine Exposition. We can zoom in on these guys, and of course they're not doing anything productive. You would think that they could build a better ladder compared to what they supposedly built right next to them. And again, let's switch over to this one, where we are told that this is a construction photo, when it's clearly completed. The only construction going on here is the scaffolding, again and again. People just standing there looking so odd, and it almost looks like they just have a kid here. I mean, look at the detail on top of the columns. It's unbelievable, and I believe that I was correct when I said that they were just painting these buildings. They are not constructing anything. Now let's look down here at the bottom right-hand side of this photo. It says right here that these are painters and decorators. They are not building anything like the description says for these photos. And they needed a place to live on site because they were painting all of these old world buildings. They were going to be there for a while. The buildings lasted forever. The paint did not. So they needed to get a fresh coat of paint on there. But when you look at the description of the photo, it says that it's a photo during its construction. So they are clearly lying. Painting is not constructing. It's painting. Two different, completely separate jobs. So these are all from the St. Louis World's Fair that we showed in the intro. The dates are from 1803, not 1903. And it had a mud flood that ripped through the interior of these buildings. So let's take a look at this building from St. Louis. And this is founded and renamed the Varied Industries Building. This is another completion photo that they're trying to say is a construction photo. And I want to zoom in on the top of this building. Can you believe the tech that is on the top of this thing? It's incredible. We have shown the airships in episode 48 and how they connected these flying crafts to the top of these buildings and used them as charging docks. And to be clear, I don't think that the past civilization was limited to just these airships that we have photos of. I think that they had much more powerful vehicles. But let's get back to these photos. Skeptics have said these buildings were just made of wood and very easily constructed, and then that's why they knocked them down. No, the only wood that was being used in this project is for the scaffolding, to paint the old world buildings white. The lumber is for the scaffolding, not the actual building. Let's make that very clear. If you've ever gone to one of these buildings, the pillars are pure marble. They're not wood. You can use the Field Museum as an example, located in Chicago. And now here we have another incredible construction photo, where for some reason, there isn't much construction going on, just a building with more scaffolding. So my question is, how have they gotten away with this nonsense for so long? That is not construction. I can clearly see that the building is done. Just because someone put a ladder in front of it doesn't mean this is being constructed. This is the process that painters use. Any painter will confirm this. And also imagine carrying these materials up that scaffolding. If this was really a construction photo, it would be impossible and very embarrassing because nobody would be able to do it. Does anyone see a crane anywhere? No. Once you know, you know. You don't go back to believing in the lies because they are ridiculous. We have more tech in the background here. There are two of them actually. And here we have a bunch of people that found this building. Let's take a second and look at the size of this thing. This was the Palace of Electricity. Could you imagine this being constructed today? This thing is unbelievable. And remember, there were so many of these buildings being thrown together in like 2 years supposedly, at the same exact time. Oh, and they are all dated 1803, not 1903. And what happened to the Palace of Electricity? We were told that these buildings were practically worthless, and they ended up in dump sites because they were just made of wood, right? The problem with that is that they are contradicting themselves. The Missouri History Museum states that the construction for the Palace of Electricity and Machinery costed them $412,000, which is the equivalent to $11.48 million today in 2023. So it's practically worthless? Or is it 11.4 million? This is the kind of stuff that makes me fully trust the mainstream narrative. I love just knowing deep down that they would never lie to us. It's just really nice to know. I love that they provide us with full logistical details. They never contradict themselves. They go that extra mile to make sure that what we are being told is exactly what happened. Oh, they don't do any of that? No. They don't do any of that. Literally none of it. The title states that this is the Iowa State Pavilion construction. And if you just shut your eyes right now, you can clearly see them right there laying the cornerstone. Okay, you can open your eyes now. This is the master builder down here. And those guys up there were also fully trained on how to build massive palaces. In fact, they are admittedly self-trained, getting a lot of their architecture designs and ideas from working on Abe Lincoln's house. As you can see, they were very busy workers. They got that building done in less than 2 years, ready for the world to see. Temporarily, of course, before knocking it down, so that nobody would ever see it again. And we can't forget to mention that they have painters actually painting this building. 4 of them to be exact, proving again that these are not construction photos. They are painting photos. And over on the right-hand side of this photo, we can clearly see a construction process happening, putting the scaffolding together with perfection. Just look at that scaffolding architecture. Okay, I'll be done with the sarcasm for today. The mainstream narrative is so ridiculous. It's really hard to not make fun of it at this point. And then we have more painters. He's got his paintbrush in his hand and the paint right there on the scaffolding. So it's pretty clear at this point that these are no longer allowed to be considered construction photos for anyone that ever had a doubt in their mind. Now he's holding up a hat, and that hat says something on it. I wish I knew what it said. Comment below what you think that hat says. All answers are accepted. The guy next to him is also wearing a top hat, which is, of course, if you're going for the productive painter / I still want my style points look, very common for the 1900s. Very impressive. And here we have the United States Fisheries Building during its completion. But I'm going to zoom in on this building on the right-hand side because it's very strange. And we have these creatures' faces on the side of this building, with writing here as well. I can't see exactly what it says, but it definitely doesn't say Fisheries Building. And then we can see more painters up here on the left-hand side. And here we have a modern fisheries building, built by us, of course, which won't last forever, unfortunately, because that's the way we construct things. So here we have a fisheries building that is designed by the Greek gods. And we are told that this is a separation of 100 years, but we are evolving and advancing, when in all honesty, that's the complete opposite. More and more people are realizing that the mainstream history that is written down by some random individual that was never even there and is being told what to write is a joke. Anyone that is seriously backing the regurgitated nonsense at this point and is serious about it should be very careful what they hope and believe in, because I have a lot more on the way that is going to rip their history books apart.
Oh, what do you think about all those?
This is a video for all of Diego Spiker's critics out there. They used to say that he pasted a picture on the door. Now, there's even a hand knocking it before opening it. So how do you explain this? I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah. Oh my god, ghosts! Oh, look, these guys are sleeping and something is uncovering them. Yo, what's up? What? Something just woke up this lady? Oh my god, what's happening to her? This is creepy. Is this normal or is this some hoax, some edited footage? Oh my god. Oh man. How normal is this? This looks pretty abnormal. But still, I can't believe it's ghost because someone can as well act like this. Or what do you think? Please share your thoughts on this. Because this is somehow really creepy. And she just went back to sleep like everything is normal. Whoa, what's happening? It's like she was being controlled by something or what? Or is that how it was intended to look like? Well, in this sense, it might be a hoax or what do you think? Please share your thoughts about
One thing you
it.
didn't know about manifesting according to this Ethiopian mystic. I recently made this video and it went super viral with almost 3 million views in under 3 days. And Neville Goddard, the original teller of the story,
spoke of this man, Abdullah. I apologize if I'm not saying his name right, but this is just how I've heard it pronounced in the renditions I've heard. Very little is known about him other than he was a spiritual teacher in the 1900s, and the greatest spiritual teachers of our time, Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, for example, studied under him. He never wrote any book, but I did some digging and I found this book, which is copywritten from 1921. The only copy in existence was a gift to the Stanford Library. Though it wasn't written by Abdullah, it was probably written about him. I don't know, I looked it over and it just seems like it's full of truths. Behold, the day breaketh. And the theme that stuck out to me when I was reading through this is, when you have a perfect concept of anything, you can easily reproduce it. That's to say, when you're crystal clear about your assumption and what you want, it is easy to manifest and show up in your reality. He was the one who slammed the door in Neville Goddard's face when he wasn't being faithful to his assumption. He was acting out of alignment with what he wanted. He was rude, he was straightforward, but he wanted him to know that manifestation is easy. If you want to read this book, I put the link in my bio. It's totally free to download. Follow for more manifestation tips.
Please manifest love.
Now, this is scary. It said that the Ark of the Covenant was discovered in Palestine. A team of Israeli soldiers embarked on a mission to raid a restaurant as it was believed to be connected to an extensive underground tunnel network spanning the entire city, offering a strategic advantage against their foes. As they ventured 2 kilometers into the tunnels, they encountered a peculiar-looking wall. Driven by curiosity, they pushed it, and to their astonishment, it swung open, revealing a hidden cave with the Ark of the Covenant in plain sight. The last communication with their mission leader occurred when they reported this astounding discovery. Strangely, they were never heard from again, leaving behind a perplexing and unsettling mystery. You can find the image by clicking share, then more, and then photos.
Do you think that was really the Ark of the Covenant?
Guys, let's cut the bullshit. I think we all need to talk about the wreck of the Titanic being discovered at Thanksgiving dinner this year, okay? This story is wild. Okay, so in 1912, Titanic goes down. She hits a berg. She's done. And that very well could have been the end of the story. No one knew the exact location where the Titanic went down, and there was, like, no surviving wreckage. So they kind of had a general idea, but yeah, it's pretty hard to reach the bottom of the ocean, as we know from the Ocean Gate disaster. So how is it actually located? This is where things take a turn. Fast forward, 1963, the USS Thresher, which is a nuclear submarine, goes down somewhere in the North Atlantic. The ship was doing deep sea diving testing, and every single person on board died. It was like one of the biggest naval disasters in like modern American history. Fast forward again. 1968, the USS Scorpion fails to return from a mission in the Atlantic Ocean. Again, bummer of a disaster. Something like almost 100 crewmen were lost, never returned, submarine's gone. Now in the mid-80s, the USS government wants to know what happened. They want to know what was going on with these submarines. They want to recover the wreckage. They talk to this man. This man is named Robert Ballard. Robert Ballard was a research scientist at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. And Robert Ballard at the time was kind of at the cutting edge of oceanographic technology. He developed the Argo. The Argo was this like tow cable imaging system that could allow you to see the seafloor, which previously we had no technology that would allow us to do this. So the U.S. Navy, who's worked with Professor Ballard before this, they get back in touch with him and they say, hey, we need to recover the wreckage of these 2 submarines. We're going to give you a really large budget and a good portion of time. We want you to find and image the submarine wreckages so we can figure out what was going on. Now, Ballard, oceanographer he is also fascinated by the Titanic wreckage. And he thinks to himself, these submarines went down kind of close to where we think the Titanic might have gone down. Ballard, ever the optimist, ever the scientist, thinks to himself, okay, well, what if we find the submarines and we still have time left on the boat? What do we do then? He sets off and in pretty short time finds the wreckage of the USS Scorpion and the USS Thresher. Now, Bob Ballard has like a well-stocked ship and weeks left on this expedition. He asks the government, hey, as long as I'm out here, can I just take a peek and see if I can find the Titanic? September 1st, 1985, 3 weeks into his secret mission, Robert Ballard finds the Titanic 370 miles off the coast of Newfoundland. This story is amazing to me on so many levels. First of all, that he was able to execute his task so well, that he was able to find those submarines in such short order. That in of itself is incredible. This technology that they had at the time, you know, it was innovative at the time, but frankly, it is so outdated. And it's a miracle that they were able to see anything and get the precision down to actually find the wreckage. As we all probably appreciate after all of the OceanGate things earlier this year, the deep ocean is an unforgiving place. It's really hard to search. It's a nearly impossible environment to work in. Not only was he able to find 2 lost nuclear submarines, but then the Titanic. And how cool would that have been? Like, just surprise, I've got 2 extra weeks on this ship. I'm going to go find the Titanic. And you freaking find it? Robert Ballard is, to this day, like the GOAT of oceanography for this discovery and a lot of other wreckages that he has found since the Titanic. So yeah, I suggest you bring this up over Thanksgiving instead of talking about politics or gossiping.
Oh, wonderful people! Thanks for watching up to this far, man. Out of videos as past, like always, good vibes videos, creepy videos, all types of videos. But now this video had some pretty entertaining story. I didn't know much about that, and it makes me really wonder about that man. How come he knew just specifically where to look at? Okay, anyway, much love to him and all the guys out there doing exploration and those stuff. You are all loved and respected. By the way, you guys, if you have watched up to this far, please hit the like button and watch till the end. You see, help us to reach these videos at least 50k views. That way we shall be all happy and the family will have grown. And love will spread out there, which will be a good thing for everybody. You see? Yo, let's keep watching. Good vibes till the end. Big up to everybody that has been leaving a comment. What? Oh my god. Ha ha ha. Oh man.
Good morning. It is early here and it is beautiful and also terrifying. I think we're gonna need a bigger boat. I think it's time for me to call in a little bit of help up here. Okay, more to come.
Oh, what were those sounds? Yo, in Japan there are stories of a creature called Ningen. Many believe this footage of that creature. Ha! Ningen! Oh, mochi, people from Japan! What might Ningen be? Let's see what Ningen might be. Oh, the Ningen must be very creepy. Kimi no warui. Ha! Obviously, if the Japanese think that something is creepy, it's definitely Kimi no warui. What is this thing? Ah, yeah. Ah! Ningen is creepy. Ah, yeah. Ah. Oh, what does it do? Does it eat people, eat other people? Does it generate good vibes?
Devin Adams back with you. I wanted to just let you know I've been out exploring and have gone pretty far in the woods. Thankfully, with this bad boy, I can get really, really deep and get very, very remote in the mountains here, which has been extraordinary. And as I was riding, I just came across this behind me, which is giving me some concern right there. I'm gonna go take a walk and see what's going on there. I have no idea what this structure is, unless it's just some kind of shelter that was built. But again, there's not supposed to be anything out here, so I'm gonna be a little cautious here. Yeah, well, whatever it is, looks like it's been abandoned for years.
What was that? Hey.
Trapped in a supermarket. Found footage backrooms.
Oh my god! Is that some
Shocking
back
video
rooms?
of a guy falling into the back rooms.
Today is January 26, 1990, and this one's going in. Oh. Ah. Go. Ah, pass, pass.
Could have sworn. What is this? Hello? Let me out! Let me out! Let me the fuck out! Hello? Is there anyone there? All right.
Oh, well, that was creepy. Those back
Now
rooms
I will
are
tell you
up.
by what signs you can recognize a reptilian incarnated in a human body. If the highest caste of reptilians has a rather specific appearance, and they can be identified even by external signs, then ordinary reptilians practically do not differ from humans. You will be surprised, but, as a rule, they are respectable, law-abiding, sympathetic, in a word, very correct in all respects, but very down-to-earth. Communication with them most often comes down to discussing everyday issues in which they are docs, and they can always give you useful practical advice. Often they receive a good education, are very well-read and even erudite, but since they are connected to certain programs, they are guided in all areas of life and always follow certain rules and stereotypes, aggressively not accepting what goes beyond the generally accepted and generally recognized. They are not able to make non-standard decisions, to perform logically inexplicable actions, to do things that are not profitable for them, that is, they do not know how to live with heart. Most often, these are colorless and boring creatures, which are popularly called nerds. They can be very attached to their loved ones, whom they consider as their property and try to control their every move. Many of them are atheists, because God is an abstract thing for them, and their practical minds require scientific proof of his existence. But there are also many among the reptilians and religious fanatics. This happens to those of them who were brought up in strict religious traditions, which means that from childhood they were connected to the egregore of a particular religion. This egregore becomes an additional program for them to control their consciousness, which further depersonalizes them. As a rule, their faith is limited to the performance of rites and rituals, because, not having a divine soul, they are unable to comprehend God with their hearts. Reptilians have a highly developed ego. They love themselves very much, take care of their health and demand increased attention from others and especially from their loved ones, so they choose those who are ready to serve them as life partners. That is why two reptilians rarely get along. Intuitively, they choose as their life partner a person who is ready to sacrifice himself for them and fulfill all their desires. If we talk about external signs, then first of all, reptilians can be recognized by their eyes. In their eyes there is no divine light that radiates from human eyes and which has many shades: tender, affectionate, sad, cunning, mischievous. More often than not, reptilian eyes are dull and lifeless, even when they smile or laugh. There is no grace in their movements, which is so characteristic of man. Their behavior and gestures are standard, as are their thoughts and emotions. The program embedded in them is felt in everything. It is impossible to say about the reptilian that it is an interesting, bright, outstanding person. Most often, it's the other way around. It's ordinary, gray, and standard. Of course, during many of their incarnations in human bodies, the reptilians also changed, but still they retained their main features unchanged, being connected to a single program developed by their masters. That's what we're going to focus on today. The Father Absolute, who loves you immensely, has spoken to you. Today we will continue to talk about the structure created on Earth by the reptilians, and we will focus not on the energetic, but on its physical component. We will consider how they implement their programs. And we will begin with the higher caste of the reptilians, which is the legislator of all actions and programs for the rest of the members of this race, who are on the lower rungs of the hierarchical ladder. It is this caste that is the most ruthless and cynical, for whom neither human life nor human dignity is of any value. They pursue only one goal: to make man a means and at the same time an instrument of their own profit. In order to completely subjugate his will, they began by instilling fear and separation in the human soul, which are the main attributes of the dualistic life. The principle of divide and rule was implemented in all strata of society. But the reptilians themselves maintained a rare unity, being welded together by a single energy and a single program. They felt each other from a distance, and for them the whole world was divided into friends and foes. Hence, clannishness arose on Earth, which further strengthened the power of the reptilians over people, whom they increasingly separated, using such tricks of the dualistic world as envy, jealousy, pride, fear, guilt, in short, a whole bouquet of negative energies, which was always in their arsenal in a huge assortment. From time immemorial, the highest caste of reptilians tried to preserve their purity by not intermarrying with people, understanding that this was fraught with weakening their practical grip, because the pure divine soul of man, which is characterized by love, gratitude and compassion, could not take such harsh and inhuman measures to achieve its goals, which the reptilians took without any regret. But people have always intuitively sensed how different these creatures were from themselves. The rejection that unconsciously arose in people on the energy level against these practical, calculating, cold people who kept aloof from them, often grew into physical persecution in almost all countries of the world. Such a revelation infuriated the upper caste of the reptilians, who hatched plans for revenge that were gradually being realized. Thus, by the end of the 19th century, the financial system of the whole world was already in their hands, and the golden calf worshipped by the reptilians continued to rule this world, sowing blood and suffering of people. They are the ones who have unleashed wars, revolutions and national conflicts all over the planet, using money to place their people in key positions, appointing and dismissing presidents of different countries at their discretion. They are the ones who enslave millions of people all over the planet with loans, lending money at interest, as their ancestors once did, the usurers. They are well aware that man's financial dependence on them makes them the sovereign masters of planet Earth. In this way, they got everything they wanted: money, power, and total control over the people. That's what we're going to focus on today. Today's message of mine will be addressed to those of you who have embarked on the path of service and have made it the main work of your life. But first, I want you to understand what service is in the divine sense. I see that some people use this word to cover up their selfish interests, selfish desires, and desire to stand out, which has nothing to do with true service for the benefit of people. Others, on the contrary, understand the word too literally and sublimely, renouncing all the joys of life. They are engaged day and night in the spiritual enlightenment of people, seeing nothing else around them. As always, the truth lies in the middle. Service is nothing more than the desire to share with others one's warm-heartedness, one's spiritual knowledge, and the experience of applying it both in one's own life and in the lives of others. This was the basis of the ministry of Yeshua, Jesus, who left a deep mark on the history of mankind, and whose teaching, although in a very distorted form, is alive to this day. Remember how many preachers have been born on earth throughout the existence of mankind, but it is he who has become for you a symbol of sincerity and purity, wisdom and strength. And the reason for this lies in the fact that his service was simple and accessible to every person, regardless of his age, nationality, social status, upbringing and education. He was not a teacher or a guru for people, but a friend, a brother, a loving mentor. He brought spiritual knowledge to people in the form of fascinating stories, funny stories, fairy tales and parables, rather than moral sermons and serious reasoning. His kindness, gentleness, charm, sparkling sense of humor, inner strength and freedom, innate wisdom and delicacy worked wonders. People believed him and followed him, seeing from their own experience how their lives change if they begin to live according to the great universal divine laws, and not those invented by people. The fact that his teaching was distorted, and people created another idol out of him, was not his fault, and much has already been said about why this happened. But Yeshua himself performed a real feat during his lifetime. He managed to turn the consciousness of thousands and thousands of people towards the divine, thus fulfilling his mission, his service, for which he was then born. And now, dear ones,